we fucking work. But I'm not giving up shit. I'm not fucking giving away the Telegram I spent so long building up. I'm not giving away the X account I spent so long building up. They can suck my dick, lick my balls, right? Because we all know, until I come back, Kendu is going to zero. Dump that bitch to zero and get your fucking cash together, right? All these people going, oh, Kendu is the community. Right. That's all I have to say. Okay, Copers. Not be mad. I own the Kendu page. I own the chat. If you are going to be mad at anybody, be mad at the quotations loyalists that thought they could overthrow me. How fucking stupid.
We own the right to lead the fight. We're here for all of you. Now swear the blood upon your steel. We'll never try. Stand and rise together beneath the Kendu sky. Chads everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We're warriors, warriors of Kendu Inu. Like thunder from the sky, sworn to fight and die. We're warriors, warriors of Kendu Inu.
Let's start with Kendu, this community takeover. Kendu Josh, welcome to the stage.
Hello.
How we doing, brother?
Hello, Zach. Can you hear me?
Gotcha, man.
Oh, my God. My God. What a crazy few days this has been. I'm not sure how much you know, or like, how much do you know? Have you been following what's been happening or what happened at all?
Yeah, we had a bunch of people fill us in yesterday, but take us through it because we got a lot of new listeners, a lot of people just checking in. But yeah, so take us through it from your eyes, exactly kind of what's transpired, what's happened, and where we're going now with this community takeover.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I know. Sorry, Zach, for banning you from the Telegram for speaking the truth. I'll make sure that's fixed. But yeah, for the last 6 months, I mean, it has just been painful to watch in the community, and I think that there was this growing rift between the community and the dev for a very, very, very long time. Just in values, morals, in everything really. It was just like we got to a stage where 99% of the community didn't want him to dev. And it was obvious the reasons why, because we after our big blow off top, there's obviously going to be a drawdown and a consolidation period. That's fine, but then during that consolidation period, whenever the community is working so hard, and these are people with like Kendu tattoos, these are people with like such high conviction and work ethic and drive. It really is the strongest community in the space, like bar none. And then whenever we would test that $60 million range, he would go like selling from his doxed wallet 30K, 20K, 30K, 30K, just crushing everyone into the lowest volume period that the market and we were having at the time. And this was really hard to bear and insanely hard to fight that FUD, especially when he, at this point, controlled the Chad's Wallet mint funds. So he raised 5% of the supply from the community, who thought that they were giving the project funds to push the project forward. Like I minted a lot of Chads because I thought it would be used for like listings and marketing and initiatives and stuff like that. But during that consolidation period, it was just being dumped and dumped and dumped and dumped, and it wasn't for the project. Nothing was seen for the project. And then to make matters worse, at the end of that consolidation period, he launched 2 pump fund tokens, which was Bueno and Anarchy, obviously. And he launched Anarchy when he was like completely wasted, like just making these crazy tweets from his account, and he launched Bueno. The idea apparently was to pave the way to Sol, but really it was just like it seemed like more of a farm, a liquidity farm, because people were getting sick of the Kendu dumping. And this was just brutal because the community was working so hard and trying to keep trying to keep going through this. Not only a painful market condition, but literally every decision hurt Kendu. Like, I could not have hurt Kendu more if I tried. I wouldn't have been able to come up with that, like those initiatives to damage this god tier community. So it reached a boiling point essentially where in the Kendu Telegram, he was saying that the mods are to make matters even worse. Again, he'd come back in after his break and insult the community, like, you guys are pussies, you guys are retards, blah blah blah. And at this point, the community had just lost all faith in him, and he'd lost himself. He didn't know. I don't know what happened to the Miazaki from February and March, which was like this invincible leader, but whoever it was now is very far away from that person. It's just hateful, resentful, running it down. So it reached a boiling point essentially where the loyalists and half of the community on Reddit and all of the FUD we were dealing with had Miyazaki's name on it. So there was never anything bad said about the Kendu community or Kendu on the whole, or the ethos or the culture. It was all Miyazaki. And this reached a boiling point where eventually we were like, we want to save Kendu because we've invested so much time and money and just emotions in this. We're emotionally, spiritually invested in Kendu as well. So it's like deeply personal. So we were like, there was talks for quite a long time about, how do we get him out? Do we CTO? Do we how can he exit? And this came to a boiling point where he demoted two of our hardest workers, which was Kevin and Stacy. Stacy's an OG Shib mod, who you might know, and she's the one who did their earlier website design and docket design, and she's like just a lovely, lovely woman who has done nothing but contribute to Kendu. And then Kevin was running like daily power hours, one of the hardest workers that Kendu has ever had, and he demoted these people and replaced them with these yes men, essentially, people who would follow him no matter what. And that was a tiny fraction of the community who would just follow him into the fire no matter what happens or what he says or does. It didn't seem to matter. And after that, I said to Miazaki, look, I cannot follow this anymore. If you're demoting them, you're going to demote me too. And at that point, he was also, the community stepped up, and the community came out of the woodwork, and people who were actively contributing for months before said to him, Miazaki, it's best if you leave. You need to leave. The best thing you can do is leave. So he pretended to leave. And then when he was gone, he didn't obviously give up the Telegram control or the Twitter control. At that stage, he hadn't given it up. And he kind of just pretended to leave and then was saying to people that he was coming back. And that obviously isn't what the community wanted. The community wanted him fully out. And he still had supply hanging over our heads. And then he kind of used his friends with supply to dump the chart and say, oh, look, the CTO isn't doing anything. And it had been 24 hours at this point. And he just dumped him and his friends to create this situation where we look bad, essentially, or we look incompetent. And following that, he essentially tried to take back the community by force. So he had the spaces and put out this, image of him as Hitler with like his you can make it up, and essentially had the spaces with his yes men, and said, these people are weak, they're not doing anything, I'm going to take the community back by force. And while this was going on, the Kendu community was in the Telegram chats, and the slash commands from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people were saying, Kendu is the community, Kendu is community, Kendu is community, Kendu is community, and just hundreds of people spamming this for hours, essentially, as this space was going on, because Miazaki said previously that he himself had taken Kendu to 280 million, which is impossible, obviously. And he is Kendu. Whereas in his, articles and previous stuff, he would say that no one's more important than him. So somewhere along the way, that got lost in a sea of ego like I have never seen before in any human ever. So essentially, he tried this hostile takeover, and then luckily, I still had delegate access to the Twitter. And I put out a tweet during his space when he announced that he was going to come back and take us by force. And I put out a tweet linking to the new CTO Telegram, which we had set up prior, just because we foresaw a situation like this happening, which was really lucky. So we funneled people in there, and within 24 hours, that CTO Telegram had like 1,500 people in it, and the old one was, of course, dead. There is no Kendu without the community. You can't just hate your own community and hostile takeover your own community when they're the lifeblood that brings the project to life. They're the people who are shilling every day. They're the people working. So after this happened, there was a big blow up, and I think he realized finally that it was cooked, it was done, and that this could not sustain itself. And thank God he did. And I think he realized the severity of the situation because he was doxxed. And his face was everywhere. People leaked his name, his location, etc. And I kind of gently nudged him and said, "You need to give up the socials, and you need to give up the remaining supply because you're in quite a serious situation." So his supply, he at one point held 7.9%, but he'd sold during that consolidation where we were trying to work for the project. He'd sold down to 1.3%. So he did finally do the right thing with a lot of work from the community, and we got back that 1.3% supply to a community wallet, the crowdfund address that we'd previously used for the MEXC listing and BingX listing, etc. And yeah, essentially we got the supply, and he's going to hand over the Telegram and the Twitter once the cooldown ends. And really, just what a wild ride it has been. I said in the community chat that I felt like that night. That's why I missed the space, by the way. I was up for 22 hours and only got 4 hours sleep. So I was just like completely fried. And I said to the chat, I feel like I've been in a Vietnamese outdoor prison for the last 8 years. But today is the first time I'm seeing freedom, and man, it's so unbelievably crazy what we've been through. But I read a great comment on the Reddit today, which said, the hardest of steel are forged in the hottest of fires, and fuck me, that fire was hot. So yeah, I'm really excited for the future. We have everything we need to succeed on a massive scale, like literally the most insane community that you could possibly ask for. It would be hard to fumble it. It would take intentional effort, which is what happened, to fumble a community as strong as Kendu's. So I'm excited that there's no dark cloud above our heads anymore, and that we can just do what we do best, which is onboard people in confidence again and bring back conviction in the project, which was shattered by the devs' actions for the last 6 months. And you could not. There was a time in February and March where I would have said to friends to go all in because I was so confident that nothing could go wrong. A really invincible leader he was, and he genuinely taught us a lot about how to work and how to run it up at that stage. But that guy is gone now, and yeah, I'm just excited to get back on track, and without that dark cloud over our heads, and to bring back the faith and the love and the positivity to the project again, which was really being stepped on by this singular person who had this insane power trip. And really brought the community to its breaking point. And luckily, the community is just so insanely strong that we banded together and pulled out for the better. And following this, you saw it immediately in the chart when he handed over the supply and deleted his Twitter and said goodbye and said, that this is what's happening. His Australian friends were selling, and there was insane support on the chart. We had someone with the ENS Kendu is community drop 65F, like 20F, 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 and then a load of people dropping 10K clips and 15K clips and 5K clips. And it just skyrocketed to I think it hit like 34 million the following day, which just shows you how much suppression was going on and how much people really, really care about this community and really care about the project. And genuinely, Zach and Paid XBO, I've never, ever, ever encountered a community like Kendu. They're just the most lovely, selfless. There's not an ounce of greed in the Kendu community. No one's looking for their exit liquidity. It's really like a family, and it was just being suffocated for so long. So I'm really looking forward to getting back on track, and it's already.
Did we lose Josh? Can you guys still hear him?
I cannot hear.
Oh, hello.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back on track, and just having the confidence to sell this to people in good faith, because you know that you have the team and community to bring it to the heights that it was originally promised to go to. Yeah.
Josh, appreciate it, man. What a great breakdown. Zach, I'll throw it over to you. Go ahead, brother, and then we'll get down to Kendu Angel and come back up to Paid, and then we got some other speakers wanting to get in here. We'll get everybody's thoughts, opinions, and everything here. But go ahead, Zach.
No doubt. This is a two-part question, and this is probably for the community that doesn't know anything, and I'll put myself in that, because I've been around the block. I watch quietly behind the shadows of a ghost. But my two-part question is, how confident are you that the old dev doesn't have a shitload of wallets waiting for the price to go up where he's going to dump on the community? And second of all, how confident are you that there's not hidden, people in the CTO that's friends with the dev? Because what I've seen this cycle, I call it the double rug, is what they'll do is they'll throw the dev in the background and have one of his buddies be part of the new CTO, where they end up draining, and selling off. And it basically becomes a double rug. I'm not saying that's what will happen here, but how confident? Because I don't know everyone in Kendu. Like, I kind of stayed on the outside and watched it. But how confident are you that if this chart goes to fucking 200 million, that whatever his name, Suzuki or whatever the fuck is garbage.
Yeah.
How do you know he won't sell off? I hate that fucking guy, and I said it from day one. So, sorry. So, questions.
Okay, so obviously I can't know for sure about hidden wallets, but I can tell you that he had a 7.9%, which is a massive amount. And in earlier spaces when he was, on form, he said his supply is around 2%, and I believed him at that point. And that's why he minted the Chads in Kendu, because he wanted more Kendu supply, because he didn't actually pre-snipe bundle. He wanted it to start from zero and blah, 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 and prove that he could do it and yada, yada, yada. And that was the guy he was back then. But he went from 7.9 all the way down to 1.3. So that was a huge amount of supply, and he was doing it from his doxed wallet. There's just no reason to do that, because out of your own selfish interest, you dox from you dump from your hidden wallets, right? And you'd act like a Chad from your other ones. There was not that level of organization to Miazaki. It was total chaos. So I'm very confident that there is no more supply. He might have a moon bag, but it's not going to be something that can harm Kendu, just like by completely rugging the chart. But even if he does, we have eaten through I think 71% of the supply in like 7 months. That level of redistribution was hit. So it was just like there is no mountain that we cannot climb at this point, despite the day-to-day movements and yada yada. There's just nothing that we can't get through. But yeah, to answer the first part of your question, I don't think he has much. Oh, it also Kendu Psycho Angel can also speak on this as well, but it was revealed at a later stage, and I don't want to drag the dev through the dirt, even though he probably deserves it, considering how he treated everyone for so long, and considering his actions. But it came out to light that he has a gambling addiction, and he would play $20,000 blackjack hands, and so you can imagine if someone doesn't have that level of self-control, there's no way that those cells didn't come from him to fund that addiction, and he would have sold a long time ago from his undoxed wallets if he could, and we would have seen it.
Yo, real quick, guys, breaking news for Kendu Inu. Breaking news. I hope everyone's prepared. This just came across the desk right now, hot off the press. I am the new dev of Kendu. My name is Suzuki.
All right.
Suzuki, baby, we here.
I'm dying. Suzuki. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then the second part of the question, because I've seen a lot happen in this space, and I've been around projects where they CTO it, and then they put the dev in the background. He's still doing shit, and his buddies are now running the new rug.
No fucking way.
Okay, yeah. I'm not saying that you're doing that. I just want to make sure that because there's a lot of people in the space listening.
That's very true, but this is a long project. It's not like something that we CTO'd on Solana and it was 100K market cap. This has gone through several redistribution periods. The community has been built from scratch. It's not like that. There's no shady business. Yeah.
Yo, Suzuki, let's fucking go. Suzuki's up in this bitch right now, taking over the space with the Kendu Inu crew. Kendu Angel, your hand is raised. This is Suzuki speaking. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How you going?
I'm good. I just realized I have the title of Suzuki, so I'm doing great.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's the funniest thing I've heard all day. I might be Kendu Mitsubishi next.
Oh shit!
We're
talking to back channels. We're gonna figure something out. We're gonna get some matching tattoos or something. It's gonna get crazy.
We'll do Fast and Furious, mate. I'll get you a 10-second car.
Kendu Uzuzu.
Zach, you tried. All right, Zach, mute. Zach, mute. Leave the comment to me. Anyway, Kendu Angel, what's going on? How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I just thought I'd jump on because the last space that I was in was actually Miyazaki's one. I actually knew him before all of this. I actually knew him in real life. So when you're saying, does he have any bags left? I can confirm no, because after all this went down, I was personally attacked for it. I was blamed for him being doxxed, and a whole lot of stuff came out on it. But because of my job, I'm aware of what's going on, and I can verify 100% that him, his family, and his friends do not have anything to do with Kendu. They may buy in, seeing as our charter's just moved. But I did get a lot of apologies today from people going, "Oh, you weren't in on this." So I was offered and told I was getting a lot of money for if I would shut up about what I knew. So I had to walk away from my bags for quite a while. And like it broke me as a person, to be honest. And then I just got sick of his crap. And then when I saw the community rallying against him, I thought, I've got to say something. And so when all this was going down, I went into his space and I told him that we were friends, but I don't want anything to do with him. And that's my story. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Missy BC. It means a lot for you to open up today.
Yeah.
Zach, why are you laughing? She just like poured her heart out on the stage, and Zach just laughing over here. No, honestly, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, the question for you as a Kendu Inu community member, what did you know that people weren't believing?
So what actually happened to me was I have quite a nice house, and I remortgaged, and I had a bit of coin lying around, so I threw it into Kendu, stupidly, because I was thought at the time he had our best interests at heart. I told him exactly how much I put in, and it was during a space. And while I was sitting on the space, I watched his doxed wallet sell for that exact amount that I put in.
Yo, that's kind of fucking crazy. Holy shit. What a piece of shit. That's wild. I never even thought of some shit like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So then there was some offers to repay that money in the last couple of months, but he'd lost. We convinced him. He did a shoey in the pool when he was off his nut, and we convinced him to lock up his tokens to try and stop the hemorrhaging, hoping that while that was locked, that it would moon and we'd be able to keep putting money in, and then his 8% would then become 2 or 3%. But unfortunately, we weren't banking on him having wallets elsewhere that weren't doxed, that he was just milking out. And it was just every time there was a green candle, there'd be sells.
Jesus
He'd like
Christ.
literally
Well,
he'd sit in spaces going, "Oh, you're all pussies if you sell, and your wife will leave you if you sell." And he was selling.
And tell people to go all in. Tell people to go all in, like
Yeah, but
with their
he had
life
nothing.
savings.
He had nothing to go all in with. He
yo, that's actually mad
he
funny.
lives in
Hey,
like his
yo.
parents' holiday house, for crying out aloud. Like,
Oh yeah, this is something as well. Like he always said, you know, to people that he's like some multi-millionaire. He drives Lamborghinis. He's made it. But it turns out that he's actually in his parents' holiday home.
you can't even pay bills.
And he's struggling to pay bills. And it was all just crazy.
Hey, real quick,
lies.
To be fair, 90% of the people in the world are struggling to pay bills. Not defending
Yeah,
him.
but he
I'm
was
just
mooching
saying,
off
bro.
his girlfriend until she kicked him out.
Well, I would
Oh dear.
now too. I mean, have you seen his face?
I feel like I'm in a Korea drama right now.
What's
There's got to be a Netflix show about this. Hey, it's like,
Hey,
if
I'm
I wasn't in the
serious.
middle of
That's
it,
a show. That's a show in the making right there.
Fire Festival.
There's never been a crypto wars show, and I'm a producer. I'm thinking about it right now. This is amazing.
not race wars, friggin' Kendu wars.
Hey, what's the estimate that this guy sold or made?
The estimate, I think probably like between 700 grand and 1.4 million, but maybe more from other wallets that we didn't know about.
What about
he lost
those
2 million gambling.
What about those NFTs?
He lost 2 million gambling.
Wow.
I've got a text from him.
What about the sales from the NFTs? Because you guys sold like $500,000, I think it was, or
that's a cash grab. I called it on the space.
Yeah, so that was where his supply came from that he would relentlessly dump.
wow.
And then put back in when the rest of the market was down, so that we looked like we were like greening up. But it was just him putting back what he'd taken out the day before.
Remember?
Yeah, or some of it.
Mar, remember on the space we had this conversation, and I told the douchebag guy, I said you should take that money and put it in Bitcoin. Literally, you got $1 million on the
that
side.
was a great call, bro. Bitcoin was at like 60K.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh, instead of using it for what was it? Some
exchange
listing. Yeah, something like that. It was like, dude, just fuck exchanges. You already have like crazy strong community. You already have a decent market cap. You don't need to. The fucking exchanges will come to you once they see the volume. So he was like, yo, just put that reserve in Bitcoin at the time.
Yep,
it was like 65K, maybe. I don't remember. Someone go look.
Yeah, it was like 65.
It was like
How about
65K. If you guys would have did that, that shit would have fucking. You'd be
how,
sitting pretty. You could take profits and do more shit marketing wise now. I mean, I'm assuming you still have some money for marketing because your project's huge. But that was what Zach did say. I remember that vividly.
how bad are the taxes in that country?
Pretty much 49% tax on gains, but he
Jesus.
also made he used to run off his mouth, and because I'm actually an accountant but I don't do his tax, thank fuck. But he would say, he goes, oh, I'm just going to keep selling all this stuff, and then in a couple of years she can deal with it so that I don't pay any tax.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how the the world works. Oi, oi, oi.
It would be nice though. We need Trump up in here.
But I do want to hear from Ishan. He's been waiting. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ishan, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I just quickly want to answer some of the things that you guys picked up. Number one, if it is another cabal or an inside team that is leading the CTO, I'm a normal guy from India who was lucky enough to stumble upon Kendu. Did not even knew how to buy a coin in Ethereum. When I joined, it was probably 120 members in TG. I know people who all the people I've seen them come into Kendu. Uh, Josh, most of the admins. Uh, the team like there is no team, it's just previously elected loyalists and whoever steps up, because it is a community takeover and not a team that is leading the CTO. These are some of the people who we trust a lot. These are the people who have shown up every day. These are the people who I have seen meet each other in the Telegram in front of my own eyes, right? They don't know each other. They have, yes, they have met a few times when they traveled their respective countries. But I mean, and the community as a whole did not even question who should be leading Kendu. We all knew Josh was the right person from within the community, and yeah, it just organically happened what happened. And Kendu community is unreal for several reasons, and one of the, like, if you I can talk a lot about it, but I just pinned a tweet that I just made, which basically is a compilation of Kendu's uh, shilling in real life. How many communities do you see where people are showing their face and doing things in real life? I personally have brought in over 100 people from my own circle who never bought crypto, and there are hundreds of people within our community who have gone on to do so, and you can see that in the video. And that is what makes Kendu so very special, and that is why people such as myself are so emotionally connected to Kendu, because I mean, yeah, whatever he did, but he did start a culture of working for your own bags, that nobody is coming to save you. And this is a platform where you can start your crypto journey. And I did. I started my crypto journey with Kendu. I mean, I was in crypto, but not in, like, participating as a part of a community, as a part of the coin. And I mean, just imagine the sheer fact that we are still sitting at around 25 million, despite the fact that he farmed us so much. We were only four and a half, 5,000 people at an all-time high of 280 million. We are currently 17.5 thousand on-chain holders, plus whatever holders are there on 15 central exchanges who have absorbed the entire farming that was done, right? And we held our ground, and we will hold our ground, and we will hold our ground, and we will continue to grow, because the culture, the cult of working for our bags is established deep within. There is no counterparty risk, because there is no influencer whom we are following. There is no team who we are following. Yesterday it was Miyazaki, today it is Josh, tomorrow it might be some other person, but this community sticks to Kendu, and it always will. And to answer some of the things that you guys said earlier regarding audit, So Kendu is the second meme coin after Pepe to win free Certic audit via 50,000 votes that the Kendu community worked hard upon, right? And yes, we are also multi-chain because we migrated to Solana a few weeks back. So you can buy Kendu on Ethereum, you can buy Kendu on Sol. We are capturing both end of the market. So yeah, that's it. And I am a normal person coming from India, not too experienced with crypto. Whatever I've learned from community members like Josh and other people who have experienced. And I'm ready to answer you honestly, whatever questions you might have from a newbie or as a community member.
Thanks for that, Ishan. Appreciate that, man. Good insights. Go ahead,
Man,
what do you got?
sorry, Zach. I just got a question to the Kendall community real quick. What was that Coinbase commercial that popped out Kendall there, real quick? I mean, was that what's
Yeah,
your take
it
on
was
that?
purely organic. Like it was all due to the rating that the community did. I think it reached Coinbase engineers. It spread throughout the office. That was not due to any connection. That was just like hard working grind and Coinbase shilling their own bags. It was a miraculous sign of things to come and sign of how powerful and connected the Kendu community was and is at its maximum power. So yeah, it was just purely organic. Up there with the big
On top
dogs.
of that, we also have BitGet and OKX running custom Kendu campaigns. We are not yet listed there, and we haven't, like bought it or something like that. It's all organic.
We got Finn back up here. Finn, do you want to jump in, man? Let's see if we can hear him now.
Yo, how we done?
What's happening, brother? What do you got for us?
Nice, excellent. I'll just keep it short and sweet. I'm just here for Kendu, and I just want to say, yeah, I can't express enough how much the Kendu community has hit the lottery with Josh. I mean, he's been with Kendu since the first day as well as myself, but he has been in DeFi since the start of the last cycle, and then he's been in watching Miazaki basically drown us with his bare hands, and now like we're able to rise up. Like he just lives and breathes Kendu. And he spends like I would say probably 19 hours a day just in the Kendu TG working, grinding, and yeah, just want to say let's fucking go Kendu, and we love you, Josh.
Let me get down to Kendu Josh. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, is my mic okay?
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for listening to the long Kendu story and hearing everyone's testimonials. It's really been a wild ride. I also have to jump off because it's late here and I have slept, God knows, just very little in the last 3 days. But it's all love from here on out. There's no dark cloud. I hope that you guys come back to the Kendu community and run it up with us. I think with this community, our success is programmed. Like there is just nothing stopping us now. So you can expect super scale, and that's what I expect, and that's what I'm aiming for, to build Kendu into the behemoth that was promised initially, and to actually deliver on those promises. So it's all love. Please join the Kendu community. Get a bag at these levels. The chart, it looks bottomed out after a brutal period fighting against the dev. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Much love.